From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check of 2021. In this extended Afternoons LA broadcast, we're going to go over the fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today, the monthly stimulus check the Democrats want you to have, whether it's the House Democrats, the Senate Democrats, or the President. We'll be going over the big money that starts in the month of July, but you need to push. Purple Power, you need to push, and haven't been pushing enough. We'll be going over all the incredible details, the breaking news, and the major deal the President has signed to get fourth stimulus to the finish line. Then we keyed up with this stimulus with no less than three wonderful breaking news. A fifth stimulus check, a fifth stimulus raise of your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits, and a new benchmark for inflation that may be going through the roof because of the Consumer Price Index number released on Thursday. Then we turn to the thousands of dollars you can get next week, and we go over what you should anticipate with the reconciliation process of the fourth stimulus next week. The heat is on. I'm here. You're here. It's a big afternoon. Let's get to all the incredible, wonderful details. It's an afternoon like you've never seen, and it starts right here, right now, starting on this very beautiful Sunday, direct from Santa Monica on Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Sunday afternoon. Hope you're having a beautiful weekend. How's the weather where you are? And tell me where you're tuning in from. In this fourth stimulus check updated 2021 today, we go over the monthly stimulus check that the Democrats want you to have, but you need to push Purple Power. I saw 11 tweets in 11 hours. That ain't going to cut it. You need to starting those tweets right now. This is not the profit stimulus channel with the glass globe that I'm looking in and reading the prophecies. We need to push. And in this recording, we're going to go over the fourth stimulus check that the Democrats want you to have, but you need to push and be on social media sharing this video. We'll be going over the breaking news as the Democrats, the President, and also the House members and Senate want you to all have a stimulus check. How much, when you're going to get in all the incredible details. Then we'll be turning to fifth stimulus that heats up this fall with another stimulus check, and I'll explain when that stimulus check would be at play. Then we turn to the incredible news of thousands of dollars you can get right now, and then we'll be turning to what you should anticipate next week on the reconciliation process. This is LALATE, your only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoon, covering everything you need to know across the board to be financially stable. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. The fastest growing channel there is, next top 1 million. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes. Consider becoming a member and make sure you share these videos on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram with the hashtag MSC and Purple Power. Let's get right into that fourth stimulus check heating up now with the Democratic House members and the Democratic Senate members. A monthly stimulus check at issue. How many stimulus checks? We're going to go over all those details starting right now. That monthly stimulus check from the Democrats differs if you're in the House or looking at the Senate proposal. Let's look and see how this is at play. The House members propose a monthly stimulus check in their bill. The monthly stimulus check would run for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate check, on the other hand, would run from July to December. The House bill provides $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate amount is unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Yes, wow, wonderful. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. If you're in the live chat just after 3 o'clock, get ready to vote House or Senate and tell me where you're tuning in from. But let's go back to the numbers and the calculations that may get modified based upon macroeconomic factors. The House plan provides a monthly stimulus check for the pandemic plus 1 year, but many believe that the House bill may get reduced because the pandemic may be deemed over. If that's the case, that would result in 12 checks over 12 months, which would amount to $13,000 compared to this over 6 months. Yes, I think you have an opinion. House or Senate, jump in the live chat right now and voice your opinion. House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Let's go over that monthly stimulus check that the Democrats in the House and the Democrats in the Senate want you to have. But remember, you need to be pushing. 12 tweets in 24 hours ain't gonna cut it from a channel that has millions of viewers. If all I'm seeing is 12 tweets a day, boy, you are just really setting this up not in a good circumstance. I want you on social media. This is not cutting. I do not see people pushing. I have people trying to read prophecies and read tarot cards. But let's go over what the Democrats want you to have if you continue to push. Democrats in the Senate want you to have, and Democrats in the House want you to have, a monthly stimulus check if you got the third stimulus check, same eligibility. The fourth stimulus check, single individual, $75,000 or less, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get it, double it. The Democrats want you to have a stimulus check if you are on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits. And the Democrats want you to have a stimulus check if you are a household of 4 or less, quadruple it. The Democrats want you to have a stimulus check the same way and the same amount for everyone. So if you're an adult dependent, minor dependent, you all get the fourth stimulus check the same amount. It's not taxable. It's not a income check, so you don't have to worry about that. And the check is not waivable, so don't wave at it because it won't wave back. Hi, check. No, that's not going to work. The fourth stimulus check would go to a final vote in the month of July. They represent the Democrats. That means that they want you to have a fourth stimulus check in the month of July for the month of July, and then in the month of August for the month of August. And there you go. That is the first of 3 parts of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. But coming up in the second part, we're going to be going over the breaking news and more about why you need to push, and you haven't been pushing, for Purple Power, hashtag MSC on social media. And also we'll be going over in the third part, the incredible details of what you should anticipate next week in the reconciliation process. Wonderful news. All right, let's cut to fifth stimulus, though, with a preview coming up in the second half of this video. Yes, we're now learning that fifth stimulus will have another stimulus check. I'll explain in the second half of this video when that fifth stimulus check would be at play. But more importantly, it'll raise your benefits up with an SSI and SSDI reform. I'm going to go over that detail in the second half of this video. We'll also be going over the $1 billion that the president has allocated to the system and the wonderful news out of the Consumer Price Index number that was released on Thursday. All right, now let's cut back to the big money that's available for you to get. When third stimulus was passed, we all knew we were going to get a $1,400 stimulus check, but I said to the viewers of this channel, but you're going to get $5, $10, $15, $20,000. And you have been killing it. This you've been doing wonderful with. You have been killing it by getting thousands of dollars, rent, utilities, mortgage, homeowners utilities, and homeowners assistance. I want you to continue to do it. If you haven't got any money, get the pen and paper ready, or Crayola Crown. I'm wearing red today, so maybe Crayola red. And if you have not gotten that pen ready, get it ready with the Crayola Crown. I have a lot of money to go over with you in this video. It's coming up in a second. And we're going to go over all that incredible money, starting with $350 billion available for you coming back from the federal government. All right, let's go over the incredible details. There is money for rent, utilities, homeowners assistance, and homeowners utilities. And it's a lot. The rent alone is 4 to 6 months of rent, about $5,000. So I want you to get that money. It's available for you coming from the federal government to your cities, counties, state this week and next week. And guess what? It's wonderful. It's available in different locations, and every location may have different eligibility. So each place, if you get a no, go to the next till you get a yes. That money's available for you. I want you to get it. Let's go over the details right now. Starting right now, you're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. The key words you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. That's rent assistance because of COVID. You don't say words that's like stimulus because they won't know that word. And you don't say words like stimulus prophecy because we don't do that on this channel and they don't do that either. So you're going to reach out to them and say rent assistance or mortgage assistance because of COVID. There you go. About $5,000 for rent 4 to 6 months of rent. Tim and Linda got that. Congratulations to them. Let's turn to this next pot of money. And one viewer this morning sent me a very nice comment on Facebook, Instagram, a direct message, said she was getting, I think it was $200 a month, and now is getting upwards of $300 to $400 a month. Wow. We had another viewer said she's getting $560 a month now. That is upwards of $7,000 a year. Killing it. You are doing a great job on this one. What is this? This is SNAP. This is SNAP. What is SNAP? It is money from the federal government for food. How do you get it? Reach out to Department of Agriculture or call 211, get connected over. How much is it? A family of 4 in Hawaii now gets upwards of $16,000 a year for SNAP. Lynn Glenn got for herself, for her mom, and for her son. Gail got it for herself. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden and one from Trump, that raise up your benefits 15% between now and December. So go get that incredible money. We're killing it. You're killing it. $16,000 for SNAP for a family of 4 in Hawaii. $5,000 for rent. We're only 11 minutes into this video. Well, let's kick it out of the ballpark with the next pot of the money. $5,000 available from your states. The federal government has identified states as not giving you certain monies that was yours. What happened? States had overpaid your unemployment assistance due to computer error, no error of your own, their computer error, and then asked you to return the money. Well, guess what? The federal government said it was your money to keep. So now the federal government has ordered that money returned back to you. Congratulations. How do you get it? Direct deposit that you have on file with that unemployment office. When? Reach out to your state for respective routing times. One viewer already got that for himself, $5,000 for that rent. All right, guess what? We got another pot of money, and one viewer yesterday said, I got that money. Tell viewers it's coming. And it is money back from federal government that you paid on taxes of that unemployment assistance. How much are you going to get? When you're going to get it? All the routing details. Let's go over the great details right now. How much money is it? It's a lot. It is the taxes you paid on that unemployment assistance in 2020. When are you going to get it? Let's go over all the details. First, the amount of money is the amount you paid on taxes of that unemployment assistance. So let's say you had $10,000, $9,000 of unemployment assistance. You paid $5,000 a total tax bill, of which $4,000 was your taxes on that unemployment assistance. You're getting back $4,000. Next, when? In the month of June, where direct deposit, unless you didn't have direct deposit on that tax return, and then it's coming in the mail in a razor-thin envelope. Be careful with that mail. Can you track it? Yes. Go to irs.gov. Set up a transcript search for your name. 70% of the time it works. And it'll reveal the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, and the refund you are getting. There you go. Wow, I am excited for you. Anything better than that? There is. And it is the second of 3 parts of your 4th stimulus check update of 2021. Well, the President of the United States, he did it. Biden did it. On Friday, he signed a major element of legislation. It's shocking. On Friday, overseas, the President of the United States signed an ancillary part of the 4th stimulus package, which is the global minimum corporate tax rate. By signing this global treaty, he enabled passage of the 4th stimulus easier, which no longer requires certain provisions as to the corporate tax rate, now anchoring the 4th stimulus over the finish line nearly and getting it closer to passage ever than before. It's incredible great news, and I'll explain to you the details of it in just a second. But here is where we currently are in the 4th stimulus. It's currently in a reconciliation. The reconciliation process will end by July 4th, and they're currently marking up the bill, we learned this week. Marking up the bill means literally making edits to the language of the bill. Let's go over how we got to this spot and where we're going next week. We got into this spot with the Friday before Memorial Day weekend when Leader Schumer confirmed not 1 but 3 wonderful details I've been reporting on this channel. 1, that the reconciliation process had already begun. 2, that the reconciliation process will end by July 4th. Number 3, that the reconciliation process will get passed. How did we get to that point? We got to that point with that wonderful letter from Jalapa to Schumer that said, call the vote. Well, what I'm excited about this letter is that it's co-signed by 12 House Democrats, who are among the House Democrats who had written the president a letter a week earlier, saying we're going to put monthly stimulus checks into the 4th stimulus package. Oh my goodness. Can we get better than that? We can. When 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter and said, Mr. President, we're going to put monthly stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package when we write it. Who are these people to say that? Who are they? And what did the president say about it? Well, the president was asked about this letter this last week, and he says, I like it. Of course he likes it. He's not going to veto a stimulus check. The president wants you to have those monthly stimulus checks. The House members and the senators want you to have this monthly stimulus check. But who are these people who said that they write the legislation? They are on the House subcommittee that's solely exclusively responsible for writing stimulus check legislation in the House of Representatives under the U.S. Constitution. Oh my goodness. Did they write the first stimulus check? They did. Did they write the second stimulus check? They did. Did they write the third? They did. Are they writing the fourth? They say they are. And are they writing the fifth? They say they are. Yes, that's coming up in the second half of this video. The fifth stimulus check is heating up this fall. Oh boy, and I'll explain when and how that works. Here's what you need to know is that they're on the subcommittee and they're currently marking up the bill. It's getting wonderful. Can we get more wonderful than that? We can. When the President of the United States, Biden, did it on Friday, he signed a major piece of legislation that anchors fourth stimulus nearly over the finish line. I'm going to go over what that legislation is by going back to when I first mentioned about it about 2 weeks ago. It was on a particular Tuesday where I said something the president had done was wonderful but confusing. I need to slow it down. So I'm going to slow it down right now as well. The president, when he proposed fourth stimulus, explained he's raising the U.S. corporate tax rate to pay for fourth stimulus. Pretty easy to follow. But he also said he was worried. He was worried that if he raised the U.S. corporate tax rate, then U.S. corporations may move their businesses overseas, where they could find a lower corporate tax rate. It's called the race for the bottom, the race for a lower corporate tax rate somewhere else. So that recent Tuesday ago, he reached out to the G7 countries and had a great idea. He said, let's informally agree to a higher global minimum corporate tax rate. And they said yes. Ooh, good. What happened later that Tuesday? Well, the president then told insiders that after fourth stimulus is passed, in let's say September, October of this year, he'll reach back to those G7 countries and have them sign on the dotted line about that global minimum corporate tax rate. And if they did, then he'll reduce and remove certain provisions from fourth stimulus. Wow, now that's wonderful. Multiple stimulus checks and an easier corporate tax rate closer to where it is right now. That's wonderful. But it got more wonderful a week ago last Friday. That Friday, I told you I saw a buried news article about the president going to speak with the G7 countries on Saturday. Now, you know what I do on this channel. I go into incredible details. I make sure you know everything that you need to know. We're not tracking checks. We're cashing checks. I make sure you know every single penny that's available for you. So I understand why he would be meeting with those G7 countries on that Saturday. But I said, tune into me on Saturday morning. As soon as the news breaks, I'll reveal whatever it is, of which I have no idea what it is. And then it broke. The president had gotten an agreement from the G7 countries that he would fly internationally and meet them this last Friday and sign into law, which he did, a global treaty raising the global minimum corporate tax rate now, before fourth stimulus is signed, not after, anchoring fourth stimulus nearly over the finish line. This is huge. What do you do? Basically, by signing this global treaty, he no longer needs a lot of the excess provisions in the fourth stimulus about the corporate tax rate, because now it's in the global treaty. Oh my goodness, that was brilliant. So he's not doing September, October. No, it's done now. Wow. Biden did it. That is wonderful. And coming up in the third part of this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, I have more wonderful news and what you should anticipate next week. But first, here's a preview also of fifth stimulus. Coming up in the second half, I'm going to go over fifth stimulus that raises your benefits up, has an additional stimulus check, and has an allocation of $1 billion to the system. I'm going to explain those wonderful details. But first, here's the volunteers. If you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners assistance, reach out to the volunteers. They are the true embodiment of this channel. If you're new to this channel, we're not tracking checks, we're cashing checks here. I have fought to get people fortunes of money $25 million of EIDL loans I got viewers in the spring of last year. Save their businesses, save their homes, save their employees' homes. But in fall of 2020, we did not see second stimulus going out, sort of like the waiting point period of time where we are right now. And I got people $250,000 of rent and utilities and mortgage assistance. Well, the volunteers are doing it just again. Open the description of this video, go down to an emoji, find that emoji. It clicks you, an emoji of a house. It clicks you over to the volunteers page on news.lalate.com/community, the community page. There's a series of pictures of cats on there. Go down the page and you'll see the volunteers. Reach out to them. They'll help you get that money. And I'll be back in 60 seconds with more exciting details about fourth and fifth stimulus still coming up. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LA with incredible details direct from Santa Monica this Sunday afternoon. How are you? How's the weather where you're tuning in from? Drop in the comments where you're watching from and how's the weather. This is LA, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm next back with you with Evenings LA, followed by Overnights Crypto, and then 2 Evenings Crypto. Each show automatically takes you to the next. So stay with this video when it's over and it'll automatically take you to the next video. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers is a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you part of this community, the fastest growing, the most accurate, the most in-depth channel there is. Also like this video. Every like helps. 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right to the details in this extended afternoon's broadcast starting right now. Fifth stimulus has a lot of wonderfulness to it, and I'm going to go over 3 breaking details of news that are happening this afternoon. Number 1, yes, there will be a fifth stimulus check, we have now learned. Those House Democrats who write stimulus checks will be doing a fifth stimulus check, to which viewers have asked me when. Let me explain what I think they're thinking. I think what they're thinking is fourth stimulus will go from now to December, and fifth stimulus will start in January. That January 2022 will be fifth stimulus checks, and this year will be fourth stimulus checks. That's what I think they're thinking. I also believe it lines up with the timelines because fifth stimulus goes to a vote around October, November, and that would be just about a 30, 60, 45-day window until the first check goes out. Because remember, it's the holidays, so routing times are slower for that stimulus check around December. So it all makes wonderful sense. Then the incredible news from the president as he announces that he's dedicating $1 billion to the Social Security Administration program and department so that your benefits, your stimulus checks, your recipients of anything under the administration is done faster, quicker, and on time. If you're with me in spring of this year, we had hundreds of videos about I haven't got to my third stimulus check because of Comerica Direct Express card. Comerica is not on the phone. They're not answering the calls. Their website says the wrong thing. They haven't seen the information. All that's going to end. He certainly understands there's a fourth stimulus check going to you. He also understands that there's likely a fifth stimulus check going to you, and he also understands that there's SSI reform in the fifth stimulus. So he wants to make sure that the administration has faster computers, more staffing, updated systems so that you get your payments on time. And that brings me now to fifth stimulus with that incredible shocking detail from the Consumer Price Index number released this last Thursday. What is the Consumer Price Index? It's a number released once a month that tracks the price of goods. Obviously, prices are going up. That's easy. But how much did the price of goods go up in the May 2021 Consumer Price Index number released last Thursday? Year to date, the number was the highest one-year rise in nearly 30 years. Oh my goodness. Yes, it literally went through the roof. What did Wall Street analysts say? They are now predicting that the inflationary rate will continue to grow throughout the year until it reaches a peak. And at that peak, which it will be temporary or what they call transitory, then it'll slightly start to come down. They say that this inflationary spike will be a one-time massive spike, the highest spike of many generations, and then it'll settle down next year. Now that you understand that, let's apply it when we understand fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus involves applying an inflationary benchmark, which I'll explain that now in a second. Raising up your benefit limits and removing the asset limits, adding a removal of the income exclusion and removing the marriage penalty. Let's go over how this works. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Who's you? You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, survivor benefits, multiple benefits, they'll all raise up one big time. Then they'll apply the benchmark. The benchmark is inflation. Now, let's say the inflation rate was 6%. This is how it would work. They would first raise up your benefits, which I just said. Then in December, they would apply the benchmark for next year. Every year, they apply the benchmark for the coming up year. Let's say the inflation rate was 6%. So you would rise up 6%. But not just next year. Lifetime. Because the way that benefits works are they go up or stay the same. They never step down. Now let's go back to that transitory or temporary spike of the inflation rate that we're talking about with that Consumer Price Index number. If the inflation rate reaches a massive spike later this year, you really have to hope that spike happens right around when they apply your benchmark of inflation in December. Because if that's the case, if the inflation rate, let's say, is 10% for just 1 month and then goes back to 2% next year, you will have that spike for your benefits lifetime. Wow. Wonderful news. Next, they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980 law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. It's going to go away. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. And then finally, marriage and love is going to win. You will be able to marry your longtime love interest because the marriage penalty is going to go away. It's a horrible thing that penalizes people for being married or prevents them from getting married. People will be able to get married like Rob and Sandy from this channel and no longer fear the marriage penalty. And there you go. That's your fifth stimulus check updated 2021 in this video. There's a lot more money in fifth stimulus. There's a lot more money in fourth stimulus. And there's a lot more money in third stimulus. That's for you to get. Third stimulus is law. And it's important to know that there's $5, $10, $15, $20,000 in third stimulus for you to get. And most of it's application based. It's not automatic. And if you don't get it, you'll never get it. So go get it. But how do you know where it is? By becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Members are delivered by me daily from the community page on YouTube, a breakdown of what's in fifth, fourth, and third stimulus. It's important to see those details. If you have your YouTube account set up to go to your email address, then you'll get the alert directly to your email address, a breakdown with PDFs and delineation one at a time of everything in fifth, fourth, and third stimulus. Which brings us back now to fourth stimulus with not one, but three more details that you need to know about that fourth stimulus check updated 2021 going into Monday. Number one, where are we? The reconciliation process is currently underway. It's a reconciliation process that does not need a Republican, and is finished by around July 4th. Number 2, who's talking about the monthly stimulus checks? Everyone that wants to have it, wants to give it to you. The Democrats in the House, the Democrats in the Senate, the president, and the print media, because they've been talking about that letter from those 7 House Democrats nearly daily. People who are not giving you stimulus checks are not talking about it. GOP and conservative media. Next, when do they finish? July 4th. Then, how many steps are involved? 9 steps. Let's go over those 9 steps that start with procedural steps and end with substantive steps. I want you to listen to step 7 and 8 and step 5, especially, because some viewers are still asking, when would we see what the senators want to give you? Step 7 and 8. When would we see if the House members put the stimulus checks in there? Step 5. So let's go over the 9 steps right now. Step 1, the House subcommittee calls a vote on the procedural bill. Step 2, the House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, the President signs into law the procedural bill. Now, time to go back and do the substantive bill. The tow truck has passed over the finish line, but it's time to go back and get that tow hitch, the substantive bill. Step 6, the House subcommittee writes and passes the step 5. I think I skipped a step there. Step 5, the House subcommittee votes and writes the substantive bill. It's at that point that House subcommittee could put those monthly stimulus checks in there. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Here we go. Step 7 and 8, the 2-day vote-a-rama in the Senate. This is where everyone's cards are shown. You don't see the cards until that point. It's a 2-day event. During those 2 days, the senators do amendments if they wish. They have the House bill land in their Senate chambers, and they can amend if they wish. So, House bill, let's say it has no stimulus checks in there, the senators can add it in there. Let's say there are stimulus checks in there from the House. The senators can leave it alone, or they can amend it. And step 9, the president signs into the law. Next, fake narratives. Well, I expect fully that the protagonista and her telenovela, her fake narratives will continue on Monday. But once the president's back on shore, on soils, I also expect him to give sort of vague references to it. It's very commonplace that what he does is, I like to hear everything. We're open to hear a range of options. Yes, but let's understand something very clearly. The president's coming back from overseas trip in which he did a wonderful bill, a wonderful international treaty about the global minimum corporate tax rate, because the corporate tax rate in the United States is what you use to pass and pay for stimulus. What was the protagonista and the telenovela doing on Friday? Try not to use the corporate tax rate, but taxes on your gasoline at the gas pump to pay for it. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. If we had everyone and their sister and brother in that room, even listening to her, which we didn't, it would still not happen, because that's what the president was overseas for, was to fix the pay-fors, which is the corporate tax rate, not gasoline tax. Come on now. But I fully expect that the protagonista and the telenovela will try to get some more publicity on Monday, or a book deal, because that's what they do. Ultimately, brush it off. I expect the problem creators to be trying to get themselves booked on broadcast media to talk about their negotiations, or the potential agreement, or the potential this. Not going to happen. Don't think about it. But I want you to know where it's coming from. Republicans don't agree to it, and the president doesn't agree to it, nor does the Democrat caucus. Finally, tough love. I think it's time for some tough love. It's really time for some tough love. As you know, I've been pushing for Purple Power since last year. Purple Power's had a lot of big successes in this channel's history. Boy, I can't recall how many successes we've had. CR for stimulus. The second stimulus was solely the result of this channel. There was not going to be any stimulus in the continuing resolution in December. My idea. I came up with the idea. CR for stimulus. Then they didn't want to have you have a stimulus check in December. My idea. Stimulus check in the CR. CR for stimulus. Or seats for stimulus at the same hand. In fact, we were very bold and pushy. We said, you don't give us a stimulus check, we're going to vote you out. Well, it's not an election year. There's no one up for re-election. There's no one whose political career is at stake. But even so, a stimulus check is at stake. Here's what you need to know, is that the time to push as the members of the Purple Power is now. You need to be on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and pushing, tagging your elected officials with the hashtag MSE, hashtag Purple Power. And I did not ask you to push in the month of March or February or even April or even May, but I'm asking you to push now because it's that very tight time frame of 1 month. You can't push after the bill's written. It's too late. Can't push after the bill's voted upon. It's too late. And ultimately, let's remember that these elected officials have had laws and they didn't send the money out, have had bills and it didn't become a law, have had proposals and it never became a bill, and have had ideas and it wasn't even a proposal. You can't guarantee anything with these people. But here's where the tough love is going to really set in. While I've been asking you to push, and some of you have been pushing, I went on social media on Sunday morning and saw how many pushes I saw from the night before, from the day before. 11. 11? Seriously? I saw 11 tweets that LALATE was tagged on. 11 tweets since Saturday afternoon to Sunday morning. Folks, that is not going to cut it. Now, if you don't want to push, that's fine. But understand, I'm not a stimulus prof. This is not a stimulus prophecy channel. I'm not the prophet. I'm not the tarot card reader. I'm not looking into an hourglass and trying to read it. I'm not trying to read my palms or reading Mitch's palms. I am here to tell you what they've proposed. And if you don't push, they may change their mind. You don't push, they may say, whatever. We haven't heard from the American people. Maybe they don't really want it. And so it's important that you need to push, because the lack of pushing I've seen in the last 3 days is the smallest I've ever seen. As reference point, this channel used to have Twitter campaigns trending, #2 in the United States, with thousands of tweets every few hours. 11 tweets in 10 hours ain't gonna cut it. And I gotta tell you, those 11 tweets were from 3 people. So you need to be on social media. For everyone that says, stimulus check, are we going to get it, yes or no? My answer is, have you tweeted anyone? Well, I just want to know if I'm getting it or not. How many times has Donut Guy gotten his money, and how many times has Donut Guy not gotten his money? Ultimately, here's what you need to remember, is that back in May, I said to you, I had a lot of tough love moments. One of them was making sure you got that tax return on file to make sure you got the money in July for the third stimulus. I told you to get something else on file. And I had a lot of tough love moments. Tough love is hitting in right now. I need you to really push. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. And with that, keep it positive, keep it informed, keep it on point. There's a lot of breaking news happening on Monday, and I will be on top of it as well. But next, join me on Evenings Ally. And then followed by Overnight's Crypto. Stay with this video. It'll automatically take you there to the next video when this one's done. Subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record for a reason. We not only push, we also make history. Like this video, 2,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Hour, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.